Joseph was perched firmly on his branch in the tree. It was thick, reliable, and perfect for sitting. It was so strong that he didn't tremble when the storms came or the winds blew. No, this branch was predictable and solid, and Joseph had no intention of leaving it. That is, until he was told to go out on a limb. As he sat securely on his branch, he looked up at the limb God wanted him to climb. He'd never seen one so thin. There's absolutely no place to sit, he said to himself. There's no protection from the weather. And how could you sleep dangling from that quivering twig? Common sense told him not to go out on the limb. Conceived by the Holy Spirit. Come on! Self-defense told him not to do it. Who will believe me? What will our families think? Convenience told him not to do it. Just when I was hoping to settle down and raise a family. Pride told him not to do it. If she expects me to buy a tail like that. But God told him to do it, and that's what bothered him. It bothered him because he was happy where he was. Life next to the tree trunk was good. His branch was big enough to allow him to sit in comfort. He was near scores of other branch sitters who had made some valid contributions to the tree community. Surely God wouldn't want him to leave. He had roots here. I have a feeling you can relate to Joseph. You've been there. You know the imbalance of having one foot in your will and the other foot in his. Maybe you're in the middle of a decision. It's disrupting, isn't it? You've grown accustomed to your branch, and like Joseph, you've been a pretty good branch sitter, and then you hear the call. I need you to go out on the limb and take a moral stand, forgive, sacrifice. Regardless of the nature of the call, the consequences are always the same. Civil war. Though your heart may say yes, your feet say no. Excuses blow as numerously as golden leaves in an autumn wind. That's not my talent. It's time for someone else to take charge. Not now. I'll get it tomorrow. Eventually, you're left staring at a bare tree and a hard choice. His will or yours? Joseph chose God's. After all, it was really the only option. Joseph knew that the only thing worse than a venture into the unknown was the thought of denying his master. So resolute, he grabbed the smaller limb. With tight lips and a determined glint in his eye, he placed one hand in front of the other until he dangled in the air with only his faith in God as a safety net. As things turned out, Joseph's fears were justified. Life wasn't as comfortable as it had been. The Messiah was to be born to Mary and raised in his home. He had to push away the sheep so his wife would have a place to give birth. He became a fugitive from the law. He spent 2 years trying to understand Egyptian. Have you been called to go out on a limb for God? You can bet it won't be easy. Limb climbing has never been easy. Ask Joseph, or better yet, ask Jesus. He knows better than anyone the cost of hanging on a tree.